So this is awkward. So we don't have we don't have any rules set up for like draws or double forfeits. Usually the rules state that you basically keep going until one player wins. I mean, it's perfect. It's completely up to these two. Axel's insisting on going right now, so that seems to be where the course of this match is headed. It's up to Kojakt if he still wants to try to follow him. Honestly. Alright, so now Kojakt's undone from the race, so Kojakt's back in it. So here we go for round 2. I'm just in time for commentate round 2, I guess. Good evening, everyone. Let me get set up here. I hope everyone enjoyed the first round. I came in as everyone was getting into Torian, and Kojakt got sniped by a French fry, and Axel got hit by ketchup. This is the match made in heaven, I guess. So give me a second to get synced up here. Feasel, is it still the normal RTMP server?
The commentary viewer is not up right now. I'll have to tell you just manually.
Okay, through live streamer.
Yeah.
All right, give me a minute then. Alright, I see Axel doesn't have a timer. What timer do you have for kojakt?
Kojakt is at 35, 36, 37, 38,
Okay,
39.
Okay, how about now?
For kojakt is 57, 58, 59.
Okay, I think I'm good enough. And Axel, can you... Wait, let me pause this stream for a while because I know it's probably going to be way ahead. Okay, can you tell me when...
Went through the door. Jumped
Jeez.
in. I'll tell you
Okay.
in a second.
Did he just enter Red Tower through the door?
No, he's in the shot a cack attack. And I think he's about to go through the glass tube now.
Okay, so you're actually ahead. See, entering crates into the warehouse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's as good as I'm gonna get. Alright. So let me move this over here. Alright guys, who wants to tell me how the first round went, because I just got here. While you guys are furiously typing. I want to pop out my chat. That's one thing. That's the thing in this game is you gotta be careful. I'm surprised neither of them saved going into Mother Brain, especially Kojakt. I mean, Kojakt went in there with, what was it? I think 29 HP. Is it like 19 or 29 HP, which is really scary. I mean, even the best runners aren't going to have trouble with that. Because it's just hard not to take damage from Rinkas and turrets. Never mind to have a damageless Mother Brain. Yeah, so 29 HP. You take damage from a Rinka. If you take damage from a Rinka, that's 10 damage. Take damage from a turret, that's 5 damage. Never mind the acid damage. And then Kojak ends up getting nailed by the French fry anyway, which does 30 damage. Instantaneous rip right there. That's a very perilous situation. If I were him, I definitely would have saved. But that's just already having, if you guys watched my match yesterday, having that underneath my belt, that was an awful run. I think I've decided that if you don't save, you're going to die. That's basically what I'm getting the message from this game. Then Axel goes in there. Axel looked a lot better off than Kojak did. Unfortunately, he got ketchup and did 2 tanks of damage to him just like that. So there's nothing that he could really do, unfortunately. Both the runners effectively dying within like a minute of each other, I think. Wasn't timing it exactly, but nonetheless, it took some convincing of them. We don't have any rules set aside in the tournament for draws. There are never expected to be any draws whatsoever. I mean, even the race bot should be able to, if you're a couple seconds apart, that should be done by race bot, but nonetheless, you'd be able to go back and at least look at the streams and try to compare, who's going to come out in head if it really came down to that much. But both racers forfeiting, the way the tournament currently looks at that, is if both racers forfeit, then the match effectively didn't even happen. And though they would have to try to find another time to basically rematch. So there is no real accepted draw condition again for this tournament, and so that's why I was trying to encourage both runners to keep going. Axel did forfeit from the race first. Then I guess he figured out that Kojak had also died. He eventually undone, and then Kojak forfeited. So both of them were not forfeited at the same time. Otherwise, the race channel would have ended. and the race would have concluded at that point. But since both are undone now, we're going to see basically a round 2 here. So, just to kind of catch up where the runners are, we have Axel. He's already done through Crate. He's out of the warehouse. He's into Norfair. He picked up his high jump boots, his missiles, working on getting speed booster right now. Kojakt, you see, heading out of the warehouse, out of just picking up Varia from Crate and working his way to Norfair now. So Axel has a pretty sizable lead on Kojakt right now. If I had to guess, just ballparking, probably by about 2 minutes. So still a lot of race to go, apparently. It's really brutal. It's really, really brutal. Having to start over from the very beginning, from this game. After you get all the way to the very end, you never save, and then you die to Mother Brain 2, and it's a soul-crushing experience. It really is. This game is, it's merciless. That's why, when it comes to this tournament, you'll see a lot of things that people normally don't do. You see a lot of safety strats. You'll see people picking up extra missile packs, extra E-tanks, saving, and when they normally wouldn't even save at all. I mean, when your people are doing their personal best attempts in this game, they never save, unless you're like a really early on runner who's just starting to run Super Metroid. You never see pretty much any runner save after a certain point in their Super Metroid career, however long or short their career may be. And so with this tournament matches, it's a different animal, right? Dying is and has always been and always will be a very real possibility in Super Metroid. We see it all the time in our Friday weekly any percent races. It's common, and in fact expected, really, that half the people who participate in that race will end up forfeiting because they die. Every so often you get somebody who, even though they die, they keep on going because it's just what they want to do. It's up to the runners if they want to keep going after they die or not. Some people just don't see it as worth it, and so they die and they're like, okay, well, I'm done here. I'll just start a new run and forfeit this race. So it's a very different animal. I mean, these tournament matches are not like your PB attempts. You have to take into account that you need to beat your opponent one way or another. If your opponent's fortunate enough to, be really fast, faster than you, and manage to survive, then that's going to be rough for you. But if they die, then you're going to have the advantage, even though you're slower. And that's something that you have to take into account. You have to weigh in safety over that. Just take this for example. Goats and I did some late night races last night, and the first match I ended up dying, I think, to Ridley. No, I died in the Lower Norfair escape. Sorry, I died in the Lower Norfair escape when the Kai Hunters just swooped down on me, and it was all over in a flash, in the twinkling of an eye, as it were. And he went on, and he actually had a pretty decent run. I think he had a low 43 for the run. I can't remember exactly what it was. But that was one of those runs where I was like, the reason I died to that Kai Hunter is because I tried to do a 2-tank Lower Norfair escape. And so I was trying to push it, basically, because I knew I was behind. I was trying to catch up to Oates, and the pressure was there. I was like, I knew I had to go fast. I knew how I had to do the fast strats because I was trying to catch up to him. And he didn't die. So unfortunately, I did what I could. There was nothing I could really do about that situation. Now, on our next race we had, on the flip side, I ended up dying going into Lower Norfair. I jumped for some reason. I don't even understand why I jumped into this Giga in the Wastelands. Right into him. Like, he hopped high and everything, which is exactly what you want him to do. And I just thought to myself, no, we're going to jump here and jump right into him and die. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, so I died there. If I had saved before Ridley, like I've done in some of my tournament matches, granted that wasn't a tournament match, but still, the illustration remains. Oates ended up eventually dying too. I can't remember to what, but he did eventually die as well. And thinking, well, if I had played it safer, actually saved at Ridley, whereas he hadn't saved at all, then the match would have had a different outcome. And that's the sort of thing you're dealing with here. you've heard the commentators say before with these matches, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I mean, people die. They're dying everywhere. You know, Kraid, Ridley, Fantoon, Dragon, Mother Brain 2, getting missile sniped in Mother Brain 1. You know, all sorts of different ways to die in this game. It's outstanding. That's a great example, too, the Duckfist versus Zost race. Zost just couldn't get the run going in his match. He died to Ridley, I think, 3 times in a row? And eventually just gave up and forfeited, and Duckfist finished and took the match. Now, a lot of people think that, you know, if you're playing against Duckfist, you're probably doomed. Superstition thing, you know, aside, that's just how the matches go, though. Sometimes you just continuously die. If Zost had saved, you know, the outcome might have been very different. But unfortunately, he chose not to save, regardless. So that's something you have to consider in these tournament matches. And as we enter the single elimination bracket of this tournament, it's gonna you might see a dynamic shift in the strategies. You might see a lot less saving because people are like, "This is single elimination. We're the best of our groups. We need to be pushing the pedal to the metal. We need to be going as fast as we can. There's no time to save." And that's, you know, in my opinion, kind of an illusion. While there's some truth to that, the fact still remains is anything can happen. So runners have to keep that in mind as they go into these races, as they go into these matches, and understanding that Super Metroid is a very brutal game, especially as you get higher level. It's so much easier to die. That's why you'll see people say, that's why you see people, you know, instead of saving, they'll pick up extra E-tanks because that's enough comfort for them. So, nonetheless, let's catch up on where our runners are. Axel, working on Fantoon right now. I did not catch how many X Factors hit Fantoon on the first round. Getting Flame Lane there on the second round. Looks like he should finish. Oh man, Fantoon disappearing really fast, but Axel dispatching him with the super. Kojakt working on, did not get Ocean Fly, unfortunately, but he's working on getting to Fantoon. I would say Kojakt still roughly 2 minutes behind Axel at this point. Most of that, I think, was from the fact that Kojakt did not start back up until well after Axel had. So there is that bit of gap after both of them had died in Mother Brain 2 that Kojakt was trying to determine whether or not he was even still going. So that's where most of this time differential is. Eventually, Axel egged him on to keep running after Axel got undone from the race. So we do have probably roughly half of our matches of this tournament left. This is match, if I'm counting right, I believe this is match number 76 out of 160 total matches in the group stage. So we are almost halfway done. I know there's one Group Spazer, who has almost all their matches done. I think they only have one match left to do. Let's see Kojakt as he goes into Fantoon here in this first round. Looks like you get a slow pattern. Gets the charge shot off. All 4 X Factors land. Axel over there working through the attic. Getting out there, is working towards Gravity Suit. Kojakt coming in the second round here. Look like he's going to opt to use missiles. Not quite getting the Doppler he needed there. Only getting 5 missiles off of Fantoon, so Fantoon's health is not quite there. Done as it needs to be, but should be able to get the third round no problem. There it goes. So 3 round, I think total patterns for Kojakt. It was I want to say I wasn't paying that close attention, but I think it was a slow mid, but I'm not certain on that. That is true. He did not have any more power bombs, so he could not X Factor. But that's not a problem. If you know how to Doppler Fantoon, then you only need the 1 power bomb to open up with. Axel getting down to bowling. Kojakt's still trying to catch up. Now, remember when I did come in here, there was, I think it was Kojakt who was ahead by probably a minute, I think. I don't know what happened during the run to either runner. Kojak seemed to be on a decent pace. Let me look up his PB really quick, actually. So I do not know what that is off the top of my head. It's 46.53. So he was probably not on PB pace, but he was still seemed to be having a decent run up until dying to Mother Brain 2. So I hope all you guys are enjoying the tournament. We ask all of our viewers, so far in this tournament, what has been your favorite part or your favorite match that you've seen or you've watched so far in this tournament? Whether that's an upset or just the closest race, or maybe it's something else you're looking at differently than the rest of what I just mentioned. You see Axel working his way down now that he has gravity suits. Going to work his way to Meridia through Red Tower. Kojak hitting the gravity suit soon. Had a little trouble with that ledge there. Aborshi with the world record. No win percent. Man, you guys are harsh. Duckfist versus Oats. You mean Duckfist versus Zost? Or are you just looking forward to a Duckfist versus Oats in single elimination? The Hyper versus Stray match, no question. I mean, I don't know, man. We must have been watching a different match. I'm pretty sure we were, actually. Now, Hybrid's run was a PB, wasn't it? If I recall correctly. Or was I? Honestly, I thought I heard somebody say it was a PB. I never looked it up. I actually had to go before his run was finished. Hybrid was hype. Alright, we see Axel getting into Meridia here, working through Main Street, Meridia. Kojak not getting the jump over the moat, but it's okay, just lose a little bit of time. It would have been worse if he had tried to jump over the moat and accidentally picked up the missiles that he didn't want. That's a nice 400 frames that you're never getting back right there. For 5 measly missiles, 400 frames is... I'm not sure what Kojak looking for the extra power bomb there from the crabs, not getting it, so if he wants the extra power bomb, he's going to have to farm to beat him on the way down to Red Tower. So hopefully he remembers that. I know when I get going down Red Tower, it's not uncommon for me just to suddenly, it's like, we're just going to keep going and completely forget that we need a power bomb. I actually had a nice short charge there. I was actually kind of impressed by that. It's basically a stutter 3-tap to get through that barricade pretty quickly. He's going to get the 1 round here. He does get the 1 round. Very nice 1-round bot win by Axel. Very nice. Kojak heading down Red Tower right now to keep up. We'll see if Axel's picking up this energy tank, so this will be his 3rd one. Both these runners did seem to opt out of the Kraid E-tank, so no form of safety there. I'm kind of wondering if they're still going to go with the same number of E-tanks, the same strats, the same no saves as they did in their basically first part of the run. Hybrid went with the hybrid run of map completion, hundo, and regular and 8%. Axel gets the halfie. Working his way slowly through the Coliseum towards Dragon. Taking a little bit of spike damage there. Not a terrible deal. It's about 15 damage. Kojak does seem to be catching up a little bit, but they're still about the same distance. Axel stopping to farm a little bit of health for the mock droids. Opting for the big health, but this doesn't seem like he cares about the other mock droid up top dropped. So let's see what kind of Dragon fight that Axel has. Yes, it was. I think I watched long enough to see him pick up Hybrid, pick up 55 and 15. Truly, never seen a run like that before. A 5 super run. It almost kind of got me questioning. I was like, is Maybe 5 supers? No, the 5 supers not faster. Kojak setting up for the X Factor on bot. We're missing one of the X Factor particles, unfortunately. Not having much luck making contact with the supers in bot wound. He's got probably one more shot left on bot wound. Trying to guess the super for the hole. Bot wound not coming out of the hole that Kojak wanted him to. Bot wound's hitbox not cooperating with Kojak at all. One more shot probably will do it. There it goes. Bot wound going down. Axel, I had looked away long enough. Apparently Axel just pulverized Dragon, having a great fight, getting blue suit, perfectly good health. Seemed like that was pretty ideal for Axel. Axel's going to get space jump now. So he looks pretty good to go there. Look at that. See Kojak picking up the bot with knee tank, as expected. Let's see if Axel maintains his blue suit here. I know myself coming up here and wall jumping all the way top here. I don't know why, but I have the hardest time hitting down here and actually having to activate the Shine Spark. Looks like Axel's opting to wait until he gets up here to activate it. Which is fine. That's safer to make sure that you don't lose the blue suit. You do lose a little bit of time running through the first part of that room, though. Kojak coming into Dragon right now, waiting for the babies to come by. Axel working his way through Kakatak Alley, working towards Plasma Beam, our favorite beam in all the Planet Zippus. Hey, Kojak, I missed it. Kojak got the full halfie. From what I think Emmett's saying is he didn't have a very clean down grab. If I'm interpreting that correctly. Oh, Kojak sparking straight up, getting the goop spark. Still getting a clean Dragon kill though. Good for Kojak. Health looks fine. He'll pick up the drops. He'll pick up space jump. He'll be on his way. Also getting a queen kill. One round longer than Axel, I think. But nonetheless, still has a good fight. Axel just now getting in to pick up Plasma Beam. The distance between these two players still roughly about the same if I had to guess. And you see Kojak there actually getting this run speed going and getting the reverse full half egg out there. Leaving with 79 health. That's okay. I wonder if Kojak will go for a Plasma Spark. You need about 70 health, if I recall correctly, to correctly do, or to be able to fully do Plasma Spark. So we'll see if he goes for that and if he gets it here. Meanwhile, Axel working on his way, trying to get out of Meridia. He is sick and tired of this place. I would be too. I think Meridia is my least favorite zone in the entire game. It's so easy to lose time everywhere in Meridia. You make one mistake, and it's not... You make a mistake in Meridia, and you're not necessarily going to die because of your mistake, but you're certainly going to lose a lot of time because it involves falling somehow, or... There's just so many easy ways to lose a ton of time. Kojak working over, stopping over those piles. And I didn't know this until recently, but those whatever those monsters are there in that pile, it's kind of like that's the plasma tutorial room, I think somebody called it, because it demonstrates how plasma goes through multiple enemies instead of just one. Because when you come through, you don't have plasma, so you shoot the guys, and it takes multiple shots to kill them because without plasma, your beam stops as soon as it hits one thing. But with plasma, as we see Kojak demonstrating right there, plasma will continue going through the enemies, and that's why some people call that the plasma tutorial room, because it demonstrated a lot more that property of the plasma beam. But never mind that plasma is just awesome in general anyway, because it does so much damage. Those are Pios. Yeah, that's what I thought, Elm. And it's funny because if you sit in that room long enough, those things will actually eventually move. And I did not know that for the longest time. Looks like a pile of bubblegum. Kojakt is 112 behind exiting Plasma. Okay, so the gap is actually closer than I thought it was. So these runners are actually roughly a little over a minute apart from each other. Going into Lower Norfair, that could still mean nothing. So we'll see what they come out as. Axel's working his way towards Lower Norfair now after picking up Ice Beam. Kojak working his way into Norfair. Running through Frog Speedway. We'll see what happens for Axel as he gets down there. Hopefully we don't have any happy accidents. Again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is the match AxlSR versus Kojak for the Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament. If you want to see the information, there is a spreadsheet in this link that I'm going to have Nightbot post for you. There's a challenge page, which is where we did the initial signups, but that second link, the Google link right there, goes to a Google spreadsheet. That is your one-stop shop for all the information for this tournament. If you want to see who's playing when, who's playing who, etc., what the match results have been, that is your place to go look, where you can find everything. Alright, Axel heading down into Lower Norfair. Kojak working his way after getting Ice Beam, also doing the same. Missing the mock ball, the space jump there. I don't know what the actual name of that strat is. Having a little trouble with the backup. Getting this mock ball so that you can get enough speed to get underneath this gate is challenging. Kojak barely making it there, but making that mock ball is a lot easier when you don't have speed booster because of the way your running properties with speed booster works. You actually need a little more ground, at least with my experience. Maybe I'm completely wrong here, but this is just what I perceive. You need a little more ground when you have speed booster to get the speed you need for the mock ball to get underneath that gate before it closes than you do without speed booster. So that's why it's a little more challenging in that part when you have speed booster as compared to like the new route where you're picking up Ice Beam before you even get speed booster. So Axel working so far going through Lower Norfair, he did not get the fast pillars, opting to power bomb the pillars, which means he's going to have to use a bomb spread coming up here in this next room in order to conserve supers and still save time. So we'll see if Axel uses the Cot strat to dispatch some of these Kai Hunters. Looks like he is. That was shot right there. Not only does it kill that first Kai Hunter there, but it'll actually damage the second one, leaving only one shot required to kill that second Kai Hunter that he killed. And the point about killing those Kai Hunters is when he lays that power bomb to open up the blocks, or open up the door in this case because he had to do a bomb spread the first time, it reduces the amount of lag that occurs in that room immensely. And so that is definitely a strat that you want to learn if you're going through that room with Plasma. Kojak getting the fast pillars going into Lower Norfair. Working through the worst room, accidentally killing that pirate. That's going to slow him down a little bit. But he's going to do the backup off the other pirate so he has a place to jump off of. Otherwise, navigating worst room without too much trouble, not fully charging that shot so it doesn't kill the pirate. Nonetheless, not taking damage, but just merely getting slowed down. Axel working his way towards Ridley, 25-8 on his ammo count. Just fine. Let's see if Kojak does the same strat in the stairs room here. Axel coming into Ridley. We'll see what kind of fight we have. Remember, it takes 20 shots to kill Ridley with Ice Waves Plasma. Kojak's slowing down a little bit in the stairs room, but nonetheless he can use the power bomb strat here since he's got the power bombs to spare, since he got fast pillars. So he's working his way down the wastelands. Ridley over half dead just now, and Axel's screen. Once Ridley turns colors, the first shade of red, you know that Ridley is underneath half of his health. It is actually shot number 11 when he turns colors. Axel having a pretty clean Ridley fight. Well done by Axel. Hardly taking any damage at all. So now Axel's just going to have to get out of there. Looks like he's going to skip picking up that E-tank. He's got full energy anyway. Fully prepared for the Lower Norfair escape. Kojak getting Platterhouse, working his way towards Ridley, trying to catch up. You see Axel and Kojak basically doing a high five as they pass each other in the room before Ridley. So still a race here. There's still runners still maintaining the distance between each other. Kojak opening with pretty decent opening to Ridley, missing that one charge shot off of him. Not too big of a deal. Just gotta be careful not to get hit by Ridley. For reference, if you don't know, Ridley has 3 different things that he can damage you with. One are his fireballs, which only do 15 damage if you get hit by one fireball. However, the caveat to the fireballs of Ridley is they do operate just like Phantoon's flames. Kojak having a very nice fight, very clean. I actually don't even think he got hit once. Just me going in and talking about the damage types, I'm sitting here and it's like, he didn't even get hit once, I don't think. Very clean fight from Kojak. That's going to give him a little bit of edge trying to catch up with Axel. So both runners work on the lower North Air escape right now. Getting the invulnerability frames going to the next room so he can run right past these holts. Not a problem. Axel working past the boulder room right now. So still, the distance I think is closing. It's hard to tell without a timer on Axel's stream, but I think the distance is closing between these two runners. Could come down to the difference of Kojak making the baby skip again and Axel not. Who knows? We'll see what happens when we get the Torian. Kojak actually doing that clip coming out of Wastelands. That's pretty good. That's actually a hard clip to get really fast. So props to him for getting that. Axel clipping through the 3 musketeers, getting hit by the second one, but still coming through no problem. 252 health. Not a big deal. Plenty of health to go through. Kojak working stairs, missing the first Kai Hunter, second Kai Hunter not in the way. Third one clipping through with plasma. There we go. So these runners coming through pretty well here. Be interested to see what happens when we finally get the Torian. Kojak getting hit by the Flame Bear, not a big deal though. So both these runners are on their way to the Golden 4, where Torian awaits them, Metroid Luck awaits them, Mother Brain and the baby all await them. Now, I am curious to see if either of them are going to save before Mother Brain 2. Kojak not quite getting that down grab there, falling down to take a second hit from the Kai Hunter. A bit of unnecessary damage, but what can you do? Nonetheless, he's still sitting just fine. His health is not really a concern at all. 234 in health, leaving lower North Fair. That's fine. That's not even a remote cause for concern. Alright, Axel working his way to Golden 4 through Meridia. You'll see Kojak do the same, as that's pretty much the standard for this route. What do you think, guys? Actually noticing Axel has the extra 5 missiles, where Kojak has only 20 maximum, if I'm getting this correct. Maybe that might come into play with Metroid Luck, that might not, who knows. Axel also going towards Golden 4 with maximum supers, which is really nice, and Kojak kind of suffering on his super count. Only going up with 4 supers it's a little concerning, actually. That's 4 supers is actually almost like a new route scenario. That's pretty standard for new route, but for old route, that's actually a little concerning. Especially with old route, you have space jump, you want to go fast through the Metroid rooms, you want to take out each Metroid individual with supers. If you don't have a lot of super ammo, you're risking a lot by doing that, because the Metroids may end up chipping you with the drops, and so you can't keep doing that and expect good drops from the Metroids. Now, if you get the Behemoth Luck, you can get 9 drops from in the first room, then you're golden. You can just keep flying through the rooms as fast as you possibly can. So, Axel working through criteria, taking for the speedball, working down Terminator right now. Kojak working his way back into Red Tower so he can climb up, get up to criteria, and continue heading for Golden 4. Not bumping his head on the wall there, missing that mock ball. A little bit of slowdown from Kojak's point. Axel going into Golden 4 here with 25-8. Very good ammo count. Don't really get much better than that. Usually 20-5-9 or 29 is usually the best you'll see coming into Golden 4. So Axel's sitting really well with 282 health and a good ammo count. Kojak coming into Golden 4. If I had to guess, he'll probably enter Golden 4 with 22. One of the pirates could be gracious to him and drop him a super as he's farming down. We'll see if that happens. But nonetheless, Kojak's super count, a little bit bothersome. It could prove to be one of the major points of Kojak not being able to catch up in this run. So we'll see what happens there. We'll see what kind of ammo these guys. Does get one super from the pirates. So going in with 23, every super counts, ladies and gentlemen, because that is every little one can help you out. So basically, the runners are Golden 4 distance apart. This is a little less than a minute time. So Kojak has closed the distance from what one of the people in the chat earlier. I think somebody, when they were gauging coming out of plasma, they gauged Kojak to be about a minute and 12 seconds behind. Now we're literally Golden 4 behind. Axel clearing these rooms very quickly because he's got the supers and he's still getting the super drops. He has full ammo, 25-10. No reason to slow down whatsoever. Axel's going to keep going, pedal to the metal as fast as he possibly can. He'll probably freezing all these Metroids, still getting good drops. Amazing, epic drops. Holy cow, I wish I would ever see some of these drops. I'm a little jealous now, actually. Axel's still going to group these Metroids in the last round because that's still the safe thing to do. Still coming through with full ammo. Axel is good to go for the baby skip and for Mother Brain 2. Let's see if he gets the baby skip, and let's see what kind of Metroid drop luck that Kojak gets. First Metroid gets one super. Kojak opting to group the last three Metroids together. Oh, not quite freezing them in time. Getting about three or four super drops off of that. Axel look like he's not even going to try the baby skip. He's damaging himself on the side hopper and just opting to just get caught by the baby and not even worry about the skip. I'm kind of wondering because I figured Axel would at least go for it. I thought he knew how to do it, but maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I can't remember. Nonetheless, Kojak had a little bit of trouble there, getting stuck underneath the Metroid. So Axel opting to not take the skip and just refill regardless does save him some time from just flat out missing the skip. Let's see if we get the supers that we need from Kojak's last room. And looks like it does deliver. He is 29. That is just enough supers to have to not open any of the doors with missiles. Kojak getting double hit by the side hoppers. I hope Kojak refills it energy or saves. Because again, we see Kojak coming into the same situation as last time. If you remember, if you were here last time, you saw Kojak go into Mother Brain 1. Go into that room with only 25 energy, which was very perilous. Axel, learning from his lessons, he's going to save before Mother Brain. He's figured that I'm going to finish this run. I'm not going to die and restart this run all over again. Let's see the skip. This is really... Nope, Kojak gets picked up by the Metroid. Honestly, might be a good thing for him because I was really worried that he would go on and save without the full health of going into Mother Brain 1. I was really worried about that. We'll still see if he decides to save. Nonetheless, Axel getting the Zebetite skip. First try, going to Mother Brain 1. Turrets seem to be cooperating right now, but we'll see if that continues to remain true. No problem. Axel going in with very nice health. 389 health into Mother Brain 2 phase. Kojak coming out, refilling. We'll see what happens if he decides to save or not as he's going through. Now, keep in mind that Kojak has 2 extra missiles that he can spare. He can't lose a super, but he can lose 2 missiles as he's going towards going towards Mother Brain 1. Let's see if Kojak saves here. Axel opening up on Mother Brain. Kojak's opting not to save, so this is all in for Kojak. If he dies here, it's all over. He'll probably end up forfeiting since we know Axel saved. Getting the Zeb skip on the first try. Axel dodging some 4 pairs of onion rings, dodging the catch-up this time. Looks like Axel should be good to go. There might be a second catch-up. Nope, just the tater tot. Should be fine. So we know Axel getting through Mother Brain 2 just fine this time. So at this point, unless it becomes to something terrible happening in the escape, it looks like Axel's going to take this one away. So unfortunately, Kodak not able to catch up, despite even not stopping the saving. Let's see if Kodak finishes this time. Coming up, Mother Brain 1, Axel starting the Mother Brain 3 cutscene. Getting the 5 shots. Now remember, it does take 20 shots to finish off Mother Brain 2. On shot number 16, that is when Mother Brain will start throwing her ketchup around. Giving quite a few underring combos there for Kojak, dodging them effortlessly. Looks like we're getting to the point. Getting hit by the French fry again. Oh, but the French fry saved him from the ketchup. The invuln frames from the French fry. Almost saved by the French fry. The ketchup was no good. Not even getting damaged by that ketchup. That saved that Kojak's run. Going on to Mother Brain 3. We'll see both runners finish this probably roughly a minute apart. Man, saved by the French fry. If you guys are wondering, if you're not familiar with why we keep calling everything onion rings and French fries, all of Mother Brain's attacks, for some reason, I don't know why we started looking at it this way. Maybe somebody was hungry one day and was just thinking about food more and more as they started getting into their run. It's like, man, these blue rings look like onion rings. And these bombs that Mother Brain keeps dropping look like tater tots or meatballs. And that's a French fry. She just shot a French fry right. And it's like, oh, she's trying to cover it all up in ketchup now. She's shooting me with her ketchup beam. And that is, yeah, the 4 different attacks from Mother Brains, all described as food. I don't know why, it just became that way. So that's what we described it as. So Axel finishing off Mother Brain 3. Working on the escape sequence here. Excuse me, gotta clear my voice. So it's been a pretty exciting race right now. I think they're still roughly about a minute apart if I had to guess. Maybe Kojak gained a little bit of time, but it doesn't seem like really the gap has closed too much since we came into Torian. So we'll see each of these runners finish strongly. Kind of doubting Axel's going to do anything with the animals. One, because I'm pretty sure that he's fed up with having to run this back. And probably, if he's watching the stream, he knows it may be a little closer than he'd like to fool around with the animals, even to taunt them. But we'll see what he does. Kojak having a little bit of trouble there at Mother Brain 3, but nothing too terrible. Hit once, but okay. Finishing off Mother Brain 3, Kojak going to start his escape soon. Let's see if Axel does... No, Axel's going to do the regular Shine Spark. He's not going to do Behemoth Spark. Yep, there he goes. The fast food names are like 5 years old, I think. Okay. I know they've been around as long as I've been around them, but I just kind of wonder who thought of that, you know? So... let me pull up the race channel because I'm sure Axel is already Axel complaining about run. Congratulations to Axel winning this race, finishing with an official SRL time 1 hour 36 minutes and 28 seconds. We'll see Kojak bringing up the rear here. Congratulations to Axel for sticking to it. I know that both of you guys, both of you ended up dying at Mother Brain 2 earlier on, and it's just like, man. How it just crushes. It takes a piece of you, man. What can you do? What can you do with that? But props to both of these runners for sticking it out, for continuing to run anyway when they both really wanted to forfeit. Honestly, I can't blame them. I really can't. So, Kojak coming up through Parlor, finishing up this race, coming up out into Criteria to the landing site, and working his way to the ship, finishing the race with an SRL time of 1 hour 37 minutes and 8 seconds, trailing 40 seconds behind Axel. He did manage to close that gap, so it was a closer race. You know, they probably about 55 seconds, somewhere around there, apart when they went in the Golden Four. Kojak closing the gap a little, about 15 more seconds, basically the difference of Axel doing that save station and basically immediately taking the missed skip. If Kojak had gotten the Metroid skip, that would have actually probably been a really much closer race. But hey, it is what it is. This is how the tournament turns out. People die. This is super. Anything, things you just have to take into account with this, right? All about surviving. That's fine. So appreciate everyone coming out and let me check one match coming up later in an hour. Have two races side by side, so it will be a four-way. You'll have Slidic versus Typo and Fuzda doing his solo run against his one person in the tournament who was removed because of repeated no-shows, Black Star Kupo. But he'll be doing that run as well. So correction to what I said, it'll be a three-way, but we still have that coming up. This will be a race to watch at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And I do believe, Fiesel, after that, we have another Link to the Past match after that tonight, too, right? I believe that's... Let me look on the schedule, because I know I had that coming up. Fiesel might not be readily...
Yep. It's
okay.
it is happening. The Link to the Past is after Super Metroid.
Okay, so after that race is over with, there's going to be a Link to the Past. So there is the links. Again, if you haven't seen the spreadsheet for everything that you need to know about the Super Metroid tournament, it's right there. Nightbot posted it for you. Also, go check out the Link to the Past as well, as that's going to be happening later tonight. And we still have the Master Blaster tournament going on, right? That's still a thing. So there's also that. But again, props to both these runners for sticking it out and completing that race, as much of a heartbreak as it was to die like that in both of them. But I think, I believe, Fiesel, we're going to probably not keep the stream up for the 45-ish minutes, come back later, right? Or am I mistaken, while we wait for the next match? Well, nonetheless, guys, be sure to check us out in another 50 minutes. We'll have another race going for you then. Until then, this has been Straveras. Have a good night, and we'll see you again shortly. I'm going to sign off here.
All right, well, we'll be back again in about 45 minutes with another race. It's going to be a another Super Metroid race for you between Slidic and Typo. So tune back in another 45 minutes, and we'll see you then.